Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Karolina Mackiewicz. I'm the Innovation Director at the ECHAlliance, who is hosting this session this morning here at Health Europe, and I'm joined by my colleague, Bladen Rees, the Chair of the Digital Health Society, our initiative, our data arm. And this morning, I don't see the... All right, thank you. I don't see the slide. We would like to maybe just start very briefly. What is ECHAlliance? What do we do, and why we're gathering? Why we're convening here in Amsterdam? We had one session, one day already of the Partners Program on Monday, and we continue here today with the two sessions. One on the scale-up, deployment and investment opportunities in the solutions coming from the research and innovation projects, and also the talking concrete things about the digital health innovations. ECHAlliance is the global health connector, and we are here with the mission to really connect the stakeholders engaged in digital health, to convene them in order to amplify and accelerate the digital transformation in health. We believe in a strong multi-stakeholder collaboration and really bringing all parties together to the table. This is something we've done now for more than 12 years. This is something that we do every day in our work through our work with the multi-stakeholder digital health ecosystems, thematic innovation ecosystems, and also range of the research and innovation projects. So yes, we also engaged the communities around the certain teams in the so-called thematic innovation ecosystems. And we are present, we were born in Europe, but we are present now all around the world with our network of the digital health ecosystems now present in more than 80 countries. And just a brief introduction to the topic, I will pass to Bladen.
So good morning from me. And innovation is obviously part of today's agenda. So when you see the slide and you're wondering what this is, so the industry that knows the most about remote monitoring of healthcare is not health, okay? It is maritime. Why? People have been getting ill on ships for centuries. Who were the first users of telecare? Ships. Who owns the most ships in the world? Energy companies. Energy companies drill. They don't drill anywhere unless the data supports what they're doing. So everything that they do is data-driven. So all of their health work, so keeping their staff on ships or drilling, is all used by them. So in 2014, we actually took Shell to Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. So it is the largest telecommunications show anywhere in the world. So about 90 to 100,000 people in Barcelona for a week. So what Shell did was they admitted for the first time that they have a satellite briefcase with $25,000 of equipment, and they had the first supply of Google Glasses, James Bond earpiece. Imagine, okay, that somewhere in the world where they can't helivac somebody out within 24 hours, they have to treat them there and then, or they might die. So someone has a compound fracture. So they, as an industry, they created the Remote Institute of Care. And so what they literally do is use a satellite phone, dial into a tertiary hospital, it happens to be in Norway, and they're talking to the actual clinician who is speaking to the technician through the earpiece. The clinician is seeing what he sees through the glasses. The room has all of the equipment that they need to be able to treat anybody with anything, sort of thing, and actually off they go. And the reason it's a technician and not a nurse or a doctor is they can't get nurses or doctors to work in these remote places. So we just use that as an example of innovation that's outside of healthcare, but also it's one of the things that we do as the ECHAlliance, okay? We try to find this type of innovation and actually make the health systems aware of it. So that's an illustration, if you like, of that innovation. Here's a totally different one. So the following year in Barcelona, we had Barça FC, or Barça Sporting Club, which is actually 9 professional sports. And what you can see on the diagram is around the sports club, there is an innovation and tech hub. So they're working out, okay, how do they keep their players fit? Or in this case, what the example they use is, how do we keep Messi from having a hamstring injury? So they were measuring the dew on the grass and the optimum height of the grass for their players. So again, this is another sector that learns things to do with healthcare that can be reused for healthcare systems to keep people well and prevention and recovery from injuries. So final example, so I'm Welsh. This is the Welsh Rugby Union, the national sport of Wales. And I met them and they said to me, we're in schools, but we're not in tracksuits. And I thought, that's a great line. But what this was about was they were taking all the nutritionalists that they have that look after their professional squad of players, and they were creating a curricula for children in schools. So this is a digital curricula to tackle things like obesity and also encourage the children to be active and why it's important. And we thought, this is fantastic. This is digital literacy and health literacy. And how do you scale that? And so what we're trying to do is see how we get sporting clubs involved more in healthcare. So that's just some illustrations. A little bit about what the Digital Health Society does. So very quickly, it's a legacy of the Estonian presidency of the European Union, for those of you who are from Europe. And at the end of their 6 months of the presidency, they asked us if we would take the Digital Health Society as a concept that we created for them and promote it and run with it, if you like. So what we did is, it's our thought leadership around data and digital. So the calls to action were 7, and there's a couple of people in the room who've been to some of the roundtables. So they're virtual roundtables of 20 to 40 people tackling some of the fundamental digital and data issues in Europe. And the aim was to influence the design of the European health data space by the Commission. So these are the 7 recommendations, and I'm not going to run through those, but just to illustrate some of the things that we do. Each roundtable then led to a series of specific recommendations. Those are the reports that you can find on our website, but there's also the QR code if you want to scan that. And I think it's on some of the leaflets at the back of the room. So very quickly, we do lots of engagement around the world around some of the things that we do. So internationally, we push behind 4 things: women's health, data and digital, healthy aging, and green health. So last year, we ran a 2-day event at the Science Summit at the United Nations General Assembly in New York. So trying to raise this agenda around some of the work that we do in the thought leadership in those 4 areas. And in India, we have a partner, the Health Parliament, and we help them with their digital health. And of course, the very interesting thing for us about India is the sheer scale. So it's, in reality, it's bigger than whole of Europe in terms of deployment. When you look at their COVID app, there were more downloads of that COVID app than across the whole of Europe. And also for us, it's about frugal innovation. So we actually see potentially out of India and Africa a lot of digital health innovation making its way back into Europe. We're founder members of something called the African Digital Health Network, along with the CDC. And this is, again, frugal innovation and promoting scaling across Africa. And essentially in the same way that Europe has the digital single market, Africa sees itself having a digital single market, 54 countries, and it's obviously a huge continent. Health. So we've been a strategic partner of health since it launched 6 years ago in the United States. We run something called The Village, which I'll just quickly show you, which is the home for all of the non-US businesses going to health in the United States. So people take booths. We have a mini stage, like some of the stages you can see on this floor. And it's a big part of showcasing innovation and digital health startups in the United States. So we also have something called the Digital Health Society Summit, which is a 2-day virtual event. Last year, attracting 1,250 registrations from 95 countries around the world. It went virtual as a result of the pandemic, and then we started attracting that number of people from around the world, and we realized we couldn't go back to physical because the numbers would have dropped. Before then, we were just like using about 100 people, and it was very much aimed at NGOs. And one of the things you'll hear about us as our mantra is we want people to collaborate. So we're encouraging people to work together, and particularly for NGOs, not to compete, not to see them as competitors, but to see what together we can do to actually improve healthcare. So what are the benefits of being a member? We are a member organization, so I'm not going to do the hard sell for you, but I am just going to point out that that's what we're looking for from industry because it's an important part of our revenue generation. And everything from EU projects, which you're going to hear about in the next session, so you can understand how for members, we create opportunities to join consortiums and bid, but also from private funding, so whether that's pharma or medtech or institutions like Wellcome Trust. So there are other opportunities that they play. Very quickly, for some of you to understand what the membership costs look like, it's a pretty simple online process to join, so you're very welcome to do that, and if you want to talk to any of us about that, please do. And then something a little bit about the membership. So it's all stakeholders involved in health and care. So we are looking for everybody from industry, and industry being all different types of industry that I was talking to a little bit earlier on. So back to maritime, automotive, health, obviously, tech, medtech, pharma. But also we have almost 100 patient organizations. We have 250 universities and research institutes. So our reach is, as we said, into the whole ecosystem of healthcare. So more about subscribing to our newsletter and to joining. So I'll just leave that for a second if anybody wants to screen grab. And then I'm just going to hand back to Carolina and for the first session. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bladen, and thank you, everyone, again, for joining us for this session. And now we will, in the next 75 minutes, we will talk about the solutions. We will present some solutions coming from the research and innovation projects, mainly European projects, but also with the participation of some partners from outside of Europe. And we would like to discuss how to best scale up, deploy those solutions in the real world to really bring the value to the healthcare system. There is sometimes this, I don't know if you share this, if not, that's great, but there is sometimes this sentiment that a lot of research is being done during those projects, a lot of fantastic solutions are being developed, and then they are sometimes being closed. And of course, the mission of our organization is to connect the stakeholders, connect the public-private organizations, connect the whole digital health ecosystem to support the deployment and scale-up and uptake of this kind of solutions from very different perspective, of course, technological perspective, and then the financial, the social development, and so on. So this is what we would like to discuss, present here during this session. I have a pleasure to be joined by 5 fantastic colleagues representing those projects, and this session is also co-hosted by the project called Digital Health Uptake, which by its name, as you hear, is of course supporting the uptake of digital health solution in the region of the European Union. So